Hello coaster lovers. So it doesn't matter if you're a part of the coaster enthusiast hobby or not, you have a sentimental attachment to a certain ride. For some people, it's the coasters at Disneyland or Disney World, but for me, a ride that I have a big sentimental attachment to is Diamondback at Kings Island. This was my first ever hypercoaster, and this is the ride that made me feel fearless. And for right now, it's my most ridden roller coaster. So let's jump into this review of Diamondback with the history of the coaster. So Diamondback was announced back in August of 2008, then construction began later and officially opened to the public on April 18th, 2009, but for the first 9 years of its operation, it featured red colored seats, which changed in the 2018 season when the red color was changed to an orange and black color. Then in 2023, half of its supports were painted a dark mushroom color, and the track was painted a more vibrant color of red. Then in 2024, the paint job was complete and is looking better than ever. So let's talk about the presentation for Diamondback. So you walk through Planet Snoopy, which is on the right side of the park, and you see this enormous red lift hill, and you're greeted with the entrance. And as for the wait, it can get pretty long on some days, but I experienced this coaster a couple times where there was no wait, but expect a 30-minute wait when you go at average. But you can ask nicely to the row assigner for whatever row you want. So after the waiting, you pull down one of the most comfortable lap bars in existence and dispatch, and that will lead us into the ride experience. So you depart the station and start ascending up your 230-foot lift hill. When you look to the right, you get a great view of Camp Snoopy, Planet Snoopy, and the surrounding area. But if you look to your left, you get a memorable view of the park. Another recommendation is try to ride this during the nighttime spectacular. The ride can't continue to run while the fireworks and drone show occurs. And believe me, it's really hard trying to get one. You have to enter the line at the right time. Say the coaster has a 45-minute wait. That means you gotta enter the line at 9:15. But the length of the line always changes. I tried to get a fireworks ride last year, but it had an hour wait and I was on the other side of the park, so there was no chance. But anyway, you crest the top and dive down 215 feet. You get great floater airtime here. Then you slightly bank to the right and soar over a camelback hill. One time when I was in the front row, I got ejected airtime. It was wild. Then you bank to the left and soar into another floater airtime filled camelback. It's very similar to the first one. Then you maneuver into a hammerhead turnaround. You can get some great whip here, doesn't matter which seat you're in. And to be honest, this bottom part where you're rising up into the trimmed airtime hill is not fun. It is extremely shaky there, I don't know why. You can definitely notice the trim on this airtime hill. And then you slowly bank to the left and slowly gain height with the helix. You get fun positives here, and your photo gets taken while you're banking. Then you hit the mid-course and you drop off into 2 more airtime hills. It's not as powerful as the prior camelbacks, but they're fun too. Then you bank to the right into a 270-degree helix. It's a nice little helix. Then you straighten out and dive into the splashdown. You actually get pretty soaked if you're riding in the back and leaning towards the water, and you rise up into your final brakes, and that concludes your 5,282 foot long experience. Now I'm going to discuss the layout. And I like the layout here. It uses the terrain to its advantage with its high positive G moments, and I love all the airtime hills that the ride delivers. The 2 helixes are also good touches to make the layout a little bit more diverse, and the splashdown is the cherry on top. It is very picturesque, and the coaster is pretty smooth as well. Now I'm going to dive into my thoughts of Diamondback. And this is a really good coaster. It's not the best B&M Hyper I've ridden though. That honor goes to Mako down at SeaWorld, but every single airtime hill hits. And the hammerhead turnaround has some great whip, and the splashdown is fun for what it is, and the cherry on top is that it's open for the nighttime spectacular. That's my goal for this ride, is to get at least one ride while the nighttime spectacular is in session. I probably have the most sentimental attachment to this coaster than any other roller coaster I've ridden. I am very dedicated to Diamondback, and that's the reason why it's my most ridden roller coaster for right now at 17 rides. I just don't have enough good things to say about this coaster. But to conclude everything I said, it's with the final score. And for Diamondback, I'm giving it a 9.5 out of 10. I took off half a point because of that one valley between the hammerhead turnaround and trimmed airtime hill. It's not pleasant at all. That's the main thing I would change about the coaster. But besides that, if you're scared of it, you shouldn't. You're gonna have a major blast on it. And there's no wonder why some people place it as the best B&M Hyper they've ever ridden. It's an addictive coaster to ride over and over again. So I want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on Diamondback? And if you enjoyed this review of Diamondback, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Our goal for 2025 is to hit 700 subscribers before New Year's Day 2026. Our growth right now really means a lot to me, and thanks to the people who had the choice to subscribe. But anyway, there will be a new video coming out in the next 5 days, so make sure to keep that adrenaline pumping, and thanks for watching.